Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Now you should hear me.
Oh, I hear you.
Good.
Oh, you didn't even do anything. It's like, were you doing something with your fingers, or it looked like you just like waiting for?
No, I was in action.
You were doing?
I was in action.
See, if I cast you in the movie, I wouldn't cast you in the.
I was doing what you would call Sully Sullenbergering.
I wouldn't cast you. Is this a current reference? I wouldn't cast you in War Games with that kind of knowledge. I think it's Matthew Broderick or something.
No, I'm well aware of the movie. Yes.
No. The reference is not something I did. It's not that I didn't get the reference. That's not the problem. I got it, pal. That's why Shiner used to have that joke. He'd say, "Oh, I hate these comics who go, over the head." Yeah. But the truth is, he goes and hits his forehead. He goes, "No, we got it, pal. We got it. We got it." And some other lines that I'm not remembering because as I get older, I forget the early days.
Of other
the early days
acts.
when I was at this. What's that?
The early days of other people's acts.
Early days, and the I almost forgot the name of the club in the Deli Smoker. The Deli Smoker. Oh my God, one of the worst clubs, but such a great atmosphere in the Valley.
Yeah.
When I first started, it was just.
That was memorialized in that show you did, right? That show about the Comedy Store. Wasn't that gig sort of represented in that show?
Oh, you mean you're talking about I'm Dying Up Here?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're making up stuff that I'm already confused.
Right.
Even though I'm sober as a dog. I'm straight as a dog arrow. I'm awake and breaking. Trump did this. Demands that Rachel Maddow before. No, they're not making that up. He says Rachel Maddow should resign. This guy, he sent today. I got punched in the face, a digital punch in the face, on behalf of Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I don't even know how you send that. Get me out of this bit. Oh, get me out of this bit. If you have a chance, if you have some time, get me out of this bit. How come I can't do the vibrato? You do it so good. This is where we came to. I will follow you, a private detective. No?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that wasn't a yes or no question.
Can you make that sound sweet? Can you put some backbeat? You know, there's something very important about what Chuck Berry was saying. Don't play it too fast. He's absolutely right. It's got a backbeat. You can't lose it. Uh-huh. But if it goes too fast, then it's thrash metal.
Huh.
Oh God! Someone.
I don't recall him saying you have to play it slow.
Oh. And don't play it too darn fast. He does that whole thing. Oh, yeah.
But they try to play it too darn fast.
And then you get it like a schmackaboo, and he goes heavy down, goes down on ballet. He takes it down. Forget about dance theater with him. And remember that song, Little Coop? Little Coop. Now there is a Little Coop, but that's the Brian.
There's the Little Deuce Coop.
This is why I hope dementia. This is my positive descent into dementia.
Yeah.
Hey, Beach Boys, Little Deuce Coop.
It's a positive spin on dementia, let me tell you.
If I wake up, the biggest nightmare would be to wake up somewhere and see you serving me with a spoon. To me, that would be like a nightmare.
Well, you know what? I think you're pretty safe.
Coming?
I think you're pretty safe.
No, well, that's really mean. You're saying that if I was dying in bed, you wouldn't give me some soup?
I would chip in to the soup server for the soup server, but I would not be the soup server.
And why is it always terrible gruel type on your deathbed?
Oh, a lot of people don't swallow that well at that in those situations.
It's so much fun to think of my demise. And that's the thing. I don't want to lose people, I don't want to lose listeners, plural, to the show by making people think, because a lot of the people, we have a young demographic.
Sure.
We have Gen, someone rattled off the new gens. Can you do it? Yeah, Gen Z, and then there's Nouveau G, New Wave, Generation New Wave. Come on, you know what it is.
Nepo-Z's.
There's an Alpha, I think. There's an Alpha now.
They've started over, I think, yeah.
Okay, but you don't know.
I don't know. Why would I care? Why would I care?
That's the difference between me and you. I like anything that's said on that. Is that a predicate or a subject? Oh yeah, that's what I would expect from...
You're down to a very clean Band-Aid on your forehead, which is good.
Yeah, it's really...
Now it just looks like you cut yourself shaving. See, because it's your forehead.
I almost put Susan to sleep with this reference. It took her a second. Us Tarryton smokers would rather fight.
It is very rather fight than switch looking. Yes, that's what I was saying. It was the classic fist fight victim look you had last week.
Did you? I always wondered how it happened. I thought you got hit with an object that was exactly this around like that. That's what it was, but that's not what it is. It's blood going to the lowest. See, blood goes. I don't know if you know this. Gravity goes down. Isn't that the way Dennis Hopper sounded in Apocalypse Now? You don't get it. You don't see it, man. Man. That's not it, right? Man.
Well, the man's about as close as you've gotten so far.
Hey, man. Remember what Dennis Hopper would do? Is just a series of commercials like that. He goes, hey, man, what are you doing? You got it. I'm not crazy. Hey, man, come on. You know these commercials, and you don't want to admit to them because they're before everyone who listens to this podcast time. It's around the same time that Dennis Leary did his.
No, I think it was a Nike campaign. I do, honestly. He's taken off his earphones. We're dead.
Was that off-putting?
I totally burned you while you had your headphones on.
In what sense?
No, you'll have to find out.
Oh, I can't wait. I feel like I'm high. Why would I need to smoke then? Why would I need it?
Why not just go with the lack of oxygen to the brain?
Oh, honey, someone's at the door. Who's there? It's the police. What? I just brushed my teeth. What do you want from me? Why am I happy? Don't question it.
I won't. I don't want to pull at that thread.
No. Isn't that sad that you pull out?
I don't want to flip that coin.
Isn't that a terrible thing to think about? That this manic, nonstop, people-pleasing attempt to make you laugh has a sad underbelly. You know what I mean? Well,
no, I don't think it'd be funny if it didn't.
Are you saying that if we just had a show where we say, good morning, Josh, how are you? Pretty damn good. A-bomb.
Any day I wake up is a good day, Andy.
You're talking to the right man here. I gotta tell you, Josh, a lot of people are getting down about what's happening in the country, but I gotta tell you, you know how you can act local. I can't think of a character. Even though the character I do is boring and goes on and on.
Don't even act locally. Act personally.
That's right.
Act personally. Ignore globally.
That's right. And you know what, Josh? People are upset and stuff, but you wouldn't know down at the farmers markets in Santa Monica. It's like
it's Kale Week.
So I'm not just telling you to turn that frown upside down. It's the morning boys. The morning boys. Good morning, boys. Nobody wants anything positive. Even in these days of Howard Stern like shock jocks.
These days of Howard Stern like shock, yeah.
I think Opie and Anthony were more shock jocks. I'm glad that time period went pre-fascism. When I was just worried about right-wing comedians who sounded sick, that time period's over now. Now we're into full fascism. Right? Now we're into 1933. I can't, I'm so nervous about it. I can't remember the name of of some of the Germans who capitulated. That's how scared I am.
I was talking to my brother, the philosopher, yesterday.
Yes.
And he was talking something that I've been sort of feeling as well, which is just this, you grow up just hating the average German for letting
can't
that
help
shit
it. You can't
happen.
help
And now you go, what could they have fucking done? I don't know what I can fucking do. What could they have fucking done? They didn't even have the internet.
Why were we so hard on them? I'm changing everything.
It's not. I mean, it's. I don't think it's.
It's not cut and dried, is what it is.
Well, I'm just saying.
Was never cut
there
and
was
dried.
an average powerless German who probably,
Well, Otto Frank, when he did, when he printed her diary, he did leave some names out of people that he were conspirators who lived in the building because he just felt it was such a difficult, there. But for the grace of God, go I with some of these people. I'll shoot you in the head, or you're going to turn in your neighbor type decisions.
Right. But it's more. I mean, it's not even just. It's not a failure of will. It is a failure of ability to affect events.
Absolutely. That's why I remember that movie, The Pianist, was it? That movie scared the light death out of me. The one that the
thought of having piano lessons.
No, it's the guy who did the 7-hour speech the first time.
No, I know what it is. But
I
know how you love Roman Polanski. I get it.
No, I know. It's like there's so many minefields. It's like Woody Allen's third movie. But what was he talking about? What was the movie?
Pianist and the average
because
German.
the threat. Specifically, I'm referring to the scenes where they're saying it's just going to blow over.
Yeah.
Now, of course, he was a Holocaust survivor, I think.
Yes.
Polanski.
I believe so.
Yeah. So he was able to convey that fear. It'd be like if Viktor Frankl did movies. Forget about it. You'd feel like you were right there. Have you ever felt like these are good movies, but I don't feel like I'm right there? That's just nervous comedy based on the fact that I could get rounded up tomorrow. When I came out of the womb in 1956, oh no, I felt like I had dodged a bullet. Even at that age, they go, "Why is your son so happy?" Because Hitler's been dead. Hitler's been dead for a while now. Why wouldn't he be happy? Why did the X come up, and what do I do about it? The X on the screen.
I don't know what you're talking about. So
in other words,
I can't help you.
If I press the X, I think I would end the call.
Don't do it. Is it that tempting?
No, it's not. It's not, my friend. Let me tell you something. On the darkest days of the first Trump administration, the only thing that was a light in the harbor, a bell on the tower, was the knowledge that we would be doing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sessions over the phone. Trying to cobble together a show to entertain America when they needed it most.
Heroes.
That's what I'm saying. Why do I feel like I just did? I feel like I could do cocaine right now, or I feel like it's a habit I learned in the '80s from doing cocaine.
You look more like a cat pawing your face than a coke addict, I have to say.
I tell you something. I've told Susan this. I'll tell you this. There's nothing cuter than cats when they yawn, and you can see the little teeth. And sometimes I would think of ways of getting their mouth open so I could count the teeth. It's important to know how many lowers, how many uppers. I never got to that point. And then they have this sandpapery tongue, and sometimes you can scratch a kitty there, and
it kind of hurts your tongue.
It kind of hurts. Wait, am I doing something with? Are you saying? Was that a tongue-kissing cat joke?
Yes, it was.
Oh, God. Which I'll never do again. I don't want to get that again. That was the greatest joke. I used that joke too, right?
Yeah.
Hey, AIDS. I don't want to get that again. And the place would break down like it was Knicks in Boston. How much homo... Was there any room in the 80s for comedy that wasn't homophobic? If you were a guy, I mean, I'm not saying I did engage in it. I don't think I did really.
Well, I don't remember a lot of heterosexual guys with pro-gay material, if that's what you mean.
That's exactly right.
I mean, a lot of us skirted the topic completely.
Even Will Durst covered it both sides.
But there was no fear of being castigated for it. Let's just say that much.
No, and off stage, if you had relationships with men that were based on, your own fear, maybe of your own gay feelings or something. You know, there's a lot of that kind of thing. Like, hey, kidding that could go. Maybe that's just my friend Horace and me. Horace and Pete. Oh my God, I almost forgot it. Horace and Pete, one of the great Louis C.K. productions that we don't see anymore. And that great touching movie about him marrying his daughter. I still can't believe that was controversial. There's a certain amount of insanity that when you look back, you go, people are doing things totally not understanding what they're doing, but they're doing it compulsively.
Yeah.
So he's compulsively making a black and white Woody Allen movie that does exactly what he's doing. He's doing these things in his private life.
Yeah.
And he's trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do. It's like, is it a moth with the flame thing?
I think he's using his art as like a shame valve.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not this guy, but this guy could be, I
think to some extent it kind of worked in the sense that, like I said, when his thing hit the fan was that behavior was only like, 5 degrees off from what people would expect from him.
It's just so crazy.
He like prepared the world for his fucking sick fuckitude. So it was like when that happened, it was like believable, certainly. And, and like not like so out of, it's not like, right. It wasn't like if Mr. Rogers was pinning a woman up against the set,
Well, he always had things like he had a woman who kind of like attacked him and had sex. And I mean, it's all these things that he was playing out. But in that show, he was always the innocent. Oh, what? You want to sleep with me and suck my toe? And that's not an exact plot line,
right?
From the thing.
But it was all happening to him.
Yes, and what was the one during Louis, which I watched every episode because it was so terrible, and I was obsessed with it. He stands outside of Letterman's show and screams, "Fuck you, fuck you!" And in fact, Letterman had him on after that when Louis was very successful because Louis had worked for Letterman. And the story goes, I don't even know if it's true, but why not spread it? The story goes that Louis C.K. got very upset at Letterman because he didn't think enough of his material was getting on the air. Yeah. Now that doesn't sound implausible, right? No. And so
that sounds like comic on a writing staff is what that sounds like.
Right. And so what happened was he was very. I remember when he worked at Conan, he was very unhappy there then too. I told you that story about when he was drunk once, and he was like, fucking Conan." Well, what story am I in the middle now?
Louis C.K. standing outside of Letterman shouting.
Oh yeah, so Letterman's interview. What did I do?
Nothing. I was just proud of myself for knowing what the fuck you were talking about.
So Letterman has him on the show after Louis' a big shot, and just to me, Letterman knows that he's bringing attention to the fact that, oh, you said this about me, and he's bringing attention to the fact that, oh yeah, you have that scene. He didn't say you made a scene to yell at me based on your anger that you built up at me over the years, and now you got a chance to strike back. I don't care because I'm David Letterman, and it is slightly amusing to me. Well, that's what I think Dave felt about it.
I think Dave also has his own shame valve issue
thing
going on.
True. Yeah. But not the same. Come on.
No, not the same darkness, but he did, he was sleeping with staff.
Well, here's the thing. I used to think my parents taught me people are either good. Write this down, they said. They're either good.
And there's no one on that list. Hypothetically, there's a good list.
Specifically, not Jesus for my father or any Moses. Specifically, not JFK. My father couldn't stand JFK because of the corruption. As I say, thank God he died because he hated Trump like poison, and he worked with Trump once, and Trump tried to rip him off. He would have been 100 years old next year, and it would have killed him. I think the second term.
Yeah, but there would have been a believable alibi for his death at 100. Is the thing.
No, I thank God that he went in 2015. I mean, as being sarcastic in a way, but or facetious or other words, but he hated Trump that much. I told you the story that we got him as a joke. Trump board game, The Art of the Deal, as a joke, and he was depressed by it. Why would you? I hate him.
And you guys laughed and laughed anyway.
Yeah,
because
we
the
laughed.
joke
We said no,
worked.
but I remember saying, "What kind of idiots are we? This is what we're doing. Is this what gift buying is deteriorated into?" He hates. You know who he hates? He hates any cheap detective novels. Let's send him a year's subscription. He hates oranges. Let's send him 1,000,000 oranges.
He's allergic to oranges.
Right. And my father had an excellent sense of humor, so you cannot blame him.
Really.
You don't blame him on that.
Yeah.
You were never a practical joker, right? I bet you could have been because you're a big hulking guy who could have
Why does that help in a practical?
I don't know what I'm talking about. It never.
The only practical joke that helps is I'm going to kill you. Just kidding.
I'm listening to this book about it's called American Kingpin. It's about the Silk Road.
Yeah.
Which was that first, huge illegal drug thing. It's a whole long story.
Right.
But
it's
the
like
FBI,
like the biggest early dark web.
Unbelievable. Yeah, right. So, but the guys at the FBI office or whatever, they're jokesters. It's classic. You smear cream cheese and jelly on the receiver of the phone. Right?
Uh-huh.
Then you go to the other phone and you call Parkinson.
Uh-huh.
Well, he should be named Parker. And he picks up and everyone laughs. This was one of the funniest things they did. They hooked up the guy's horn to his brake pedal. So every time he pressed the brakes, it sounded like he was honking the person in front of him. This is the kind of hilarious stuff that
it's a pretty good joke.
I wouldn't even know how to do. Now, that one does sound good, right?
It's very similar to my joke my joke that I financed when we switched out the car horn in my friend's car.
Tell me what was that?
My friend Barry called me up and said literally called me up with a gag proposal. I was already and he was like, I'm at Menards. They have a horn that a car horn that plays Dixie. Like the Dukes of Hazzard car. And he wanted me to pay for it so he could install it in our friend Joel's car, unbeknownst to him. And I was 100% behind that.
And did you execute it good?
And it was perfect because it took a month
till it happened.
Right. And I get a call from my friend Joel just laughing, go, "You fucker! You fucker!"
I know it's such a racist, terrible song it's such a terrible song in general. That's so
and
great.
to his credit, he kept it.
He did.
He did. Years later, he still had the same car, and he then lived in Vegas, and I was there for a shoot, and he came to my hotel and picked me up. And I come out of the hotel, and I hear,
I like a guy. Those were the days when someone would take the joke to the next level. That wasn't filmed.
Yeah,
that was just for real life.
All credit goes to Barry for the joke, and both the execution and the conception of it.
Right.
But I'm just happy to have been a small part of it.
You're acting like we're at an awards dinner.
No, it really is one of the great jokes, in my opinion.
It is. It really
it's harmless. It's hilarious.
So great. It's so good.
Surprise. It's got everything.
Yes. And you tell it well. See, I tell a story, and it's always, and then the guy said to me, and I said to him, I'm worried. But you paint a picture, and I'm going to stop this now. See, in the early days of the show, I couldn't stop a bad run. I call that a bad run.
Yeah. You couldn't recognize a bad run. That was the first step.
Yes. Why would you stop something you seem to be over enjoying?
Right.
No reason for it. I feel today that I have not done many mouth noises.
Yeah, well, you keep thinking that, and maybe it'll manifest itself.
Oh my God!
I
would like to come over.
That's all I'm saying.
I would like to come over there and take you apart piece by piece. We used to joke about that in the old days. Now you could get shot going up to a stranger, going, "I'm going to take you apart piece by piece."
When was that safe? Really, when was that safe?
In Queens, amongst 12-year-olds.
Okay.
Who watched the Bowery Boys.
Yes.
No, but I did have that. I thought that was a New York thing. Like, I want to fucking kill that guy. Like those kind of expressions.
Hostility.
Yes, but express that fucking guy cuts me off. I hope he fucking dies in a blazing fire. That I felt was a New York affect.
I think the unadorned anger
yes
is pretty East
true.
Coast.
Yeah, but the heart of gold that beats beneath it. Do you believe that's true? Get out of here, yes. Fuck you. I love you, you son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fuck you, but we love your comedy.
Right.
Because I didn't experience that. I experienced the Queen's
Just
crowd.
the fuck you.
Yeah, Queen's crowd. Horrible crowds. Horrible people. Horrible crowds. Worse on Long Island.
Yeah.
Worse. You'd think Long Island, maybe the people would be funnier because the weather's nicer or they're near the beach. No. Dissuade you. And the fact that they're not culturally part of a lot of things that are going on, like in New York.
Right.
Don't think that doesn't make it...
Proudly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't think that doesn't make any joke that isn't about deep dish pizza bomb.
Yeah.
Or go fuck yourself. Hey. We both did rowdy bars, but you did better in them only because they were better. You were better one-nighters, I think, mostly.
I don't think so, but I think.
No, they sucked.
But I think because I did so many of them, I had an act that was more apt for those kind of gigs.
Yeah. Yes.
I wasn't talking about my feelings. I wasn't talking about.
Right.
I was trying to be a bar comic.
Can you imagine anyone like there's not a lot of people who
in
have
those gigs, at least.
Right. Not forever. But like Jonathan Katz, or anybody who had delivery, like very few people have that kind of delivery. But can you imagine? He must not have. They told me in Europe when they threw things at me in Europe, it's not the Reading Festival in England, that as soon as they heard my voice, hey, how you doing? Do you people watch Big Brother? That was it. It was over for me.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
You can't win with that.
Well, remember, I was a teenager too, so it was like there was, I think, a defensive mechanism in me to not show weakness in general.
Yes.
I was both.
Plus, you were a bully.
I was not a bully at all.
I know,
I was trying to project something older than what I was.
Yes. Well, you were.
Subconsciously, I was. I think I was never consciously trying to act older.
Right, because you would have seen through that.
It was who I was, but when I was on stage, there was no acknowledgement of my age.
It's not like you came to the club and went, gentlemen, It is a pleasure to see you tonight.
But I would, not when I was on the road. I was pretty careful about not drinking and where I was working because I just didn't want that.
How many jokes can you come up with it anyway? Hey, I'm 16, folks. I shouldn't be drinking here. Don't tell the manager.
If you're gonna, you could have made the decision to dive in on it, and then there's a ton of material.
No,
there,
that's like I did with Jewish material. Yeah. I'm telling you, once you get in, you can't get out.
But I was keen, we've talked about this, but it was both. I was keenly aware that if you did that, you could literally age out of all your material, and B, it was like I had this. The ego said, you don't want to be a child star.
Right. Even though that wasn't afforded to you.
It was
not.
What I'm saying? It was not on the table. It was not like door A or door B.
You were in, after all.
But I was, I got asked to do this like funniest kid in America show when I was like 17, maybe
wow.
16.
I would love to see footage of that.
And I taped a set for them, and I don't think it ever happened. But it was like I was so against it. It was Scott Hansen who owned the Comedy Gallery. Oh. He was like forcing me to do this, and I was like, I don't want to win that. I don't want to be the funniest kid in America. That sounds horrible to me.
It's just also it handcuffs anybody doing it because it's only going to be he's extremely funny for a kid or something like that, right?
And I just wasn't there was just nothing in my act that was appropriate. I'm talking about at this point I'm doing jokes about being a road comic, basically.
Yes. Boy, those were the days. Those were the days, my friend. We thought, is that a Paul McCartney song?
And I found out it was actually. Do you know Scott Rubin of Reuben and Core at one point. And
No, I don't know. What, it was a comedy group?
they were a comedy duo, and he ran the very latter day National Lampoon and stuff.
Okay.
But it was what was weird is that he was the guy doing the Funniest Kid in America show, and then when I moved out to LA, he was like part of my friend group tangentially. So.
Well, I did the Lampoon were the people who did the How to Be a Hack Handbook, and those two guys at that point they were great. Chris Marcel and Sam Johnson. That was like a dream come true, but I don't think I realized it was a dream come true when it was happening for some reason.
It was it's so that piece is just it's so funny to me because it is so cemented because of it was like I had that issue during my fucking worst week on the road ever, basically. So it's all tied into that whole horrible
I love
week,
that idea.
you know, because not only was I working with a giant hack, you know, there was like 4 or 5 things in the fucking piece that you could check off with the guy. It was Jeff Wayne, and it was
A special kind of hack he was.
It was just an awful week.
Even though he could occasionally be funny, but it came at the cost of people dying, someone punching him.
Yes.
It's funny 7 years later, and then we drove into an open field, and Jeff Wayne took his underwear off. Oh, that's a great story now.
No, he started a street fight outside a bar with.
I know you had to.
Him, yeah.
You were the getaway car, right?
Yes, I was.
I can't believe
some stories you remember. I never know which ones.
Well, no, yes, I know, but the thing is, I think I remember. But the thing is, that could have gone so much differently. You could have died from that, or gotten seriously hurt. I guess not. I guess people.
Well, no. I mean, the opener who started the whole thing, you know, who was in the initial skirmish that Wayne escalated 10 times. He kind of got the worst case scenario, which was he got punched a bunch, and I had to take him to the emergency room for stitches. You know.
Oh, so he got.
So I kind of could see like what's the worst that could. You know?
Oh my God. It is amazing to be, not every generation could say, oh, we had stand-up comedy. You know, I couldn't have had that experience in any other career except music or something. You know what I mean? Like, that experience just seems so part of me going on the road. I'm a guy who went on the road.
Yeah.
But I couldn't have predicted that would have ever happened going in.
No, nor could I. But it was, I mean, I look back on it all sort of proudly just because I was like such a young fucking kid who had the chutzpah to fucking go do bars in North Dakota at 16, you know, and it's,
yeah.
So I don't know where that bravery, for lack of a better word, came from, you know.
Well, I think some of that in your case, you would say probably was like you could be young and not confident on stage, or you could, I think you felt confident.
I felt confident.
Yeah.
Looking back, it was all false confidence, but
yeah, but it's still, yeah. Well, in a way, it's all false confidence now. Even,
that's true. That's
you're,
no. I mean, I have
not false confidence.
I would say, if anything, one of my flaws as a performer is too much comfort on stage.
You mean like too low key?
Yeah, too conversational. Right. Too like I don't necessarily feel the heat of it the way I
right.
You know.
But I think that's also a factor of the kind of clubs. In other words, like that's the way the clubs, especially like improvs and those kind of things, they're not set up for storytellers.
Right.
And I'm saying you're a storyteller, but they're not set up for conversational things.
Right.
They're set up for like, hey, what are you doing there, stupid?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's not the right bit.
Well, I mean, it's like there's enough comics who do fucking kill.
Yeah, but
that why would you even necessarily want one who doesn't? Because there's enough for 52 weeks of comics that fucking destroy. You know?
Right. But I knew maybe not the first time I got on stage, but pretty quickly when I got on the road, I realized, okay, well, these are just gimmicks. This cannot possibly, you're not going to see, every one of these people is not going to have the Carrot Top hour or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I just felt like, if you're going to, maybe I just felt innately this, you can't win doing this. Maybe because I also didn't feel comfortable doing it. And maybe because I wasn't by nature a hack. As by
Well,
nature,
I don't think you had to be a hack necessarily, but you did have to have a kind of alpha personality.
right.
In
I'm
those
destroying this
gigs.
crowd.
Yeah.
This crowd's mine.
There were certainly really funny, good original comics out there
Absolutely.
who did great. But
no question. Brian Regan would be one example,
yeah,
but many
But
examples.
they had that skill to own a room that I don't think that either of us. I don't think either of us have the desire to own a room like that. You know?
And when Brian Regan is pretty up tempo, but then when we get to Nate Bargatze, it is amazing how people can capture with once they get people on their wavelength.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I think neurotic Jews like us are never going to feel comfortable on a wavelength. How am I doing?
I've never felt less of a desire to try to capture the zeitgeist. It's we're in a time where it's like, it's hard to imagine going on stage and not talking about what's happening in the world. Like, it's hard to imagine wasting the time with people's attention right now.
Right.
And yet that's not the gig, that's not the job, and it's not going to work. So it's a tough place to be for me right now in terms of what's my, how can I use my skill set to help?
And actually, I was talking to my cousin Marsha yesterday. We were doing a Zoom thing, and basically, right before I talked to her, it was like 500 Venezuelans got taken. It was 3 or 4 articles, and I got on there. I said, and we both had the same thing, kind of. I said, "Can you believe that?" She goes, "I just can't talk about it." It's just like if her daughter is an immigration lawyer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but it really worked for us to go, I can't even get into it because we would have wasted this whole catch-up Zoom on just expressing anger and frustration.
Right.
So it does work that if you don't engage, because the thing is...
Right, but that almost seems like the insidious plot.
Well,
it's
true. It's not going to work as a way of life.
So much that they will fucking tune out, and we'll do what we do, and they can, we'll try to make them believe that life is the same. And, I'm not saying that you're wrong to not talk about it either. I'm just saying that that's the counterpoint that happens in my head when you consciously compartmentalize.
Yeah.
There's a guilt almost that comes along with consciously compartmentalizing right now for me. I'm not saying you should feel it. I'm just saying that that's kind of what goes on for me is that
makes sense to me.
It feels almost irresponsible to tune it out, and yet it's irresponsible for a sense of self-care to not sometimes. So.
Right, because I think it's growth for me I'm looking forward to catching up with my cousin. And then I know in my mind, if I open up with, can you believe the motherfucker's doing this? Then it's going to be 30 minutes of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
like I said, I'm not at all. Am I saying you should feel what I'm feeling? I'm just trying to describe where I'm at in all of this.
It's growth for me to put it out of my head for an hour.
That's good.
But it is heating up. I don't know if you've been following. I have to say this thing, and I know you love him. I know you have posters of him on the wall. And I know that there's 2 sides to every story, but there's the technique that Charles Schumer, how he arrived at his horrible decision really was like a slap in the face. It was like, you're not going to do, he was like, I'm not voting for this. The next day, I decided to vote for it because get out, get the hell out. I am totally on the bus of get these fucking assholes out of there now. Yeah. I don't know if that's a bus, but what an idiot. But the other part of it is some people keep saying, but if the government is shut down, you don't know that it would have been a net good. That's what some people say to me.
Well, I think it would only be a net good in getting people to notice, I think.
Right.
Honestly, I think they had a plan for it shutting down that would have probably grasped more power, and it would have been a very long shutdown, I think.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, no, that's not going to accomplish anything. I think it's just his style was so fucked up, almost like he's arrogant or something. Like doesn't he know he's 95 years old and sounds like he's out of touch? He sounds like he's out of touch.
He does not seem to know that he sounds out of touch now.
He didn't used to. He was a pugnacious
That's the
Jew.
thing about being out of touch is you're not in touch.
Right. And for me, it's adorable to tell stories on a podcast about how I dropped my soup and, I hope I don't get a hip ache. But
Right.
I'm not running the goddamn country, am I? Thank you.
By the way, there's a possibility that my thing will die in the next couple minutes.
Do you want to put something else in or just call it a day?
No, I think we're okay. I mean, I just put in new batteries and they're going down. I think I got a bad box of batteries. I think I got.
Do you think it's because I'm draining you?
You're very draining, but
Was that to be? I thought he was just saying. I thought you were going to go. Oh, looks like I have jury duty again. That's very. Oh, that's quick turn around.
I gotta go.
That's happened to me before. They sent me a thing, and I had to show them that, they sent it in 6 months, instead of a year. Just they wait a year before they ask you for jury service again. But they did it in 6 months. What a great story! I love a parade.
So, did you have to go somewhere to prove that you?
I think that I didn't. I think I may have just had to call somebody.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. Back then, they didn't have phones or anything.
Right. True.
In that day, I had a laptop. It was a laptop. It was 700 pounds.
Yeah.
I don't know whose lap they thought this would fit in. It weighed. Did I say it was 7,000 pounds?
Yes.
It was also 40 by 80 was the size, like a big television. If that would make the joke funnier. No,
Not yet. No.
you told me years ago exaggeration is always funny.
I said 1,000% of the time.
I feel every day I thank God, or every week I thank God that you dissuaded me from going down the Groucho interview route.
I don't know if
Because
I think I pointed it out, and that served the purpose of dissuading you.
But it also said to me, why would you, let's say you're writing a movie script, and you're really going to think you're going to John Lennon your way through a 2-hour movie script with, I'm not putting down John Lennon, but I mean, I loved his wordplay and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
But, you got to have a little character there, kiddo. I don't know why I'm saying this. I have no desire to write a script, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
Because it's not my thing. It's your thing and Mike White.
In that order.
Don't tell me. I know you haven't seen The Lotus, but I called it The Lotus, but I didn't see
Lotus.
last night's.
I did not see it, no. I can't
Is-
spoil anything for you.
Is there anything new that you like? Anything that's scratching your belly?
No, it was a pretty blurry weekend for me. The only thing I actually remember watching was Amadeus, which I hadn't seen in 30 years. Yeah.
I saw that once in the movie theater and loved it.
Yeah, it was quite good.
Is it hold up?
It does hold up. F. Murray Abraham especially holds up. Tom Hulse is a little more irritating than he was 35 years ago.
Wow, that's interesting.
But he was meant to be irritating. So
I'm trying to remember one scene from the movie. I can remember stills. I may remember still. But now, whatever happened to that? Was that a success story? Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. He's crazy. What? What are you doing, Josh? Just get off of it. Get off it and shake it off. You had a bad moment. You had a bad couple of minutes. All he did was sit there looking at me, observing me. Yeah, you blew it. I'm going a little stir crazy because I can't smoke pot today, but it's just like I feel like I should get an award every Tuesday.
I would say instead, maybe just turn your camera around and just pretend I'm watching you through a two-way glass.
Two-way glass comedy or as a dramatic technique always works.
I guess one-way glass is really what it would be.
It's what it is. That's right. A two-way glass is called
a window.
Okay, this window. Do you want it to be two-way? What? What do you want? No, I want it to be a one-way mirror like I'm doing focus groups on a TV show.
I hate birds.
So what I'm telling you is, what I'm trying to explain to you is that I forgot it. And I don't want you to remind me of it either. Because sometimes I go, remind me of it because I want that for Friday. I want to keep
This is one of those times where I couldn't in a million years tell you what you were talking about. So.
Right. And normally it's because it's.
And he stopped. Jesus Christ.
No, normally okay. Normally I'm not funny. I guess that riff was going to be. But people have had too much evidence of that.
Yeah. We hold these truths to be self-evident.
I'm getting excited about, I want to ask you, I'm watching a movie. No, it's not a movie. It's a series. It's a Netflix. Is it Netflix? It's Hulu.
It's a commercial.
It's called Paradise. It's on Hulu. And I really like it. I like that I know I'm going to get his name wrong because I'm going to mix him up with a madman. Sterling K. something. And he's the Secret Service guard for the president is the premise. And it's Dan Fogelman, who I love this Dan Fogelman. I'm not going to brag. I'm not a name dropper. He cast me in a sitcom once, which was a weird sitcom, but everything he does is kind of weird and kind of great. He did Crazy Stupid Love with Steve Carell, and that was a great movie. And this show is very interesting. Like, I could never make a show like this. You could never make a show with this kind of premise, Okay, there's only 20,000 people left. And they go into, it's like they go into a room or something. But no, it works like he has a magical mind. So I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's very entertaining.
Yeah.
Do you know that we are the number 3 podcast for putting you to sleep at night for people who just wanted to go out like a light?
Yeah.
Number 1 is This American Life. Number 3 is our podcast.
Yeah.
And it's just, you'd think it would be annoying to listen to. But if you turn it down just till it's like a dull roar, it's very comforting. People like it. And scene. And when I say scene, I mean the end of my career.
You're talking as if I'm sitting here making the stretch gesture.
Yeah, but the thing is, you've already, I don't like, you always say, don't draw attention, don't break the fourth wall. And if you are going to break the fourth wall, at least have the common decency to install a sliding glass door. Wow. This is what I hoped my puns would generate. Wow. Wow. It's so fucking funny as
breathing heavily.
I can't even look at Blue Sky. You're probably up to 10 grand now, and I'm still, I'm still honking around 8,900.
Yeah.
It's very sad. It's very sad
that I'm not tracking it in the way you are.
Well, that's sad for me.
No, I'm especially not tracking it now that you're giving me the score each time we talk. So
I don't think you're 10,000.
It's kind of fun for me. I don't think
I don't think you're close. And maybe just doing this will help.
Maybe.
And that's the thing. We can't even say how popular we are because we get so much of a bump just from the show.
Right.
Huh? Look at your look. You have a look that's, I would say, resting derision face.
It's not direct. I mean, I can't tell you what my look looks like. But it's not
bemused.
Bemused is better. Yeah. I don't. Derision is too angry.
Well, because you know that what's coming from me 90% won't make sense. And there's always a good end.
No, there's just always this sense of wonder of like, boy, it takes so much extra energy to be him.
I was going to bring you.
It is. He's thinking self-consciously about taking a drink. He's every time he says normally, there's a little play that goes on.
I know. It's like, I think I would have either been the worst method actor or the best method actor. And I would go with worst. I'm drinking now. I'm here. I'm smoking a cigarette. Hey, Jack Nicholson. Business. Take a sip.
The problem is every sense memory is panic.
Now, Andy, if you can't imagine yourself as the character, just draw from what you're feeling right now. Disconnected.
Right.
You feel like people are looking at you. You feel like you're acting.
Right.
Go with that.
Right.
Go with that.
Walk like a penguin.
I really never saw March of the Penguins, and I'm very sad about it.
Really?
It's great, isn't it?
It seems like a wound you could heal.
But no, because I heard that penguins, and is this some kind of Disney tale that they mate for life? I almost cried when I thought of the fact, and they cannot fly, right?
They cannot fly now.
But why would they choose waddling around the Earth? Why would they choose that?
I think exactly. They did.
Their arms are too short to box with God. Did you know they made it for life? And what does that mean? Like you're talking to a penguin and you go, how you doing? Excuse me, my wife's coming over. How is it possible?
I believe you've met my wife.
It looks like every other penguin.
The Empress.
I'll kick your ass. So you didn't see March of the Penguins?
Happy wife, happy ice.
Happy wife, happy ice. I just think it's so great that Americans need to have a rhyme to figure out how to treat their wives. Why am I doing my joke again?
I don't know.
There's nothing worse than that.
Well, there's no worse audience. I know that much.
No, because I'm still amused. One out of two of us still enjoys it.
I make you long for Long Island.
You know what I'm obsessed with now is that I don't think I want to say often. I said often my whole life.
You should.
And then
you should continue.
Well, people are saying often all the time.
Well, that's a choice, but you don't have to make it.
Oh, I thought it was an official decision now.
No.
Because I've used soften. You have to soften something.
Uh-huh.
And it's I have to come up with a newer name than Edmund Newman for someone who's like a Tony Randall, someone who's known to be.
Those are two different things, Tony Randall.
It is two different things, but can't you meet me in the middle? I want my life to be back in the days when The Odd Couple was on and Tony Randall was alive. Well, Andy, you can still see The Odd Couple. No, you don't understand. I want to transport myself.
And you'll see Tony just as often.
No, but you don't understand. I want to transport my... That's so how I'm not used to saying often. Often. All right. I think that was very cruel of you, the little prank you pulled.
Which one? Where I hung up on you?
Do you feel there's something guiding you? Like the rhythm in your soul. Something deep inside of you. You relinquish all control. In my fantasies, it's another place and time. 'Cause the world I see leaves me shallow and unkind. As we drive tonight, we're going home. Hope we get there soon. Now the stars are dimmed by the city lights, and I'm worried about the moon. My obsession started boring me like the ringing of a phone. Carrying on endlessly, like I don't get that I'm alone. Is there anywhere that I can run and hide from my empty nest, from my empty life? As we drive tonight, we're going home. Hope we get there soon. Now the stars are dimmed by the city lights, and I'm worried about the moon. I'm worried about politicians' disease, poverty, my complexion, germ warfare, you and me. I'm worried about messiahs who come too late and leave too soon. Now the stars are dimmed by the city lights, and I'm worried about the moon. Won't you tell me that it's all okay? One more time and I'll believe you're not gonna disappear, and there's nothing up your sleeve. There's a change in pace to this changing world. With my veil in place, I'm a shadow girl.
please accept my apology.
Why would I?
Oh. You threw me for a loop right to start there.
For what, Andy?
3 minutes late is no excuse.
Oh. 3
minutes late. And I don't like it. And I also forgot to put my 2 Dylan books underneath to somehow get a high. I'm so sick of looking at me. You know what? Why don't you enjoy it for a change?
So you stack your Dylan books under your laptop to create sort of a watchtower?
Oh, old men making Dylan jokes. It's so quaint. It's adorable. What were they talking about last week? You don't know the song "All Along the Watchtower"? That's what they were. That's a listener.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, Josh, today, hey. What did Lou Gehrig say? I'm the luckiest man in the world. Today is the 5-year anniversary of the passing away of Joan Norma Lewine Kindler, ladies and gentlemen.
Norma Lewine?
Yes. 2
words or one?
Well, Lewine was her maiden name.
Oh, okay.
By the way, these are not passcodes. There's no Norma 1, 2, 3, 4 that I'm using for Wells Fargo, okay? So don't even try it. So,
well,
yes.
May her memory be a blessing.
May her memory be a blessing. But here's my thing.
Doesn't seem like it is necessarily, but may it be.
Oh, well, no. Look, I love my mother. I love my mother.
I know.
I have to say that according to the will, I don't know. Why would I be still strangling with the will? No, but I did want to say that one thing I have a bone to pick with my family, who I'm sure does not. Yeah, first I go, do they listen to this?
I'm just so happy. It's not me at the end of that sentence. I have a bone to pick with.
Yes, it's usually you. Yes. Yeah. So take a breather.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
You pick your bone. I'll sit back.
Pick your bone. I start getting ding, 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 ding. In fact, let me turn my phone off because if it's not that, it's going to be ding, ding, ding. May your mother's memory. And also words I don't even know what they're talking about. You probably know it, being the Jew that you are.
Yeah.
Good morning, Dan says. Good morning. Thinking of Joan Kindler on her 5th Yahrzeit. Yahrzeit.
It's not actually her 5th Yahrzeit. Let's be honest.
Why not?
Because the Yahrzeit is based on the Jewish calendar, and you're on regular. Oh. You're on whitey calendar here.
Yeah, take that. And then everybody.
But Yahrzeit is the yearly. It's where you light the candle for a day. It's the yearly on the Jewish calendar, so it moves.
You stop.
It gets you. It gets you. It zetzes you.
Don't make those Jewish faces that you were doing, like a Jew at a conservative temple trying to encourage me.
Well, trying to teach. Rabbi means teacher.
So, it's like...
Well, it's nice. I mean, despite your mocking voice that you read it in, it's nice that people are writing these things to you.
But I live on the West Coast. How hard is it for you people to realize?
How hard is it for you to mute your fucking phone when you go to bed, huh? Dick.
I did not want to mute it in case my mother came back to life. Oh, Jesus Christmas. But you know what? May my mother's yard sale. My mother's yard sale. I'm like a Norm Crosby, but less
funny. Yeah.
I got that before you. I'm always willing to slam myself.
I know.
Earlier.
That's why I have to move fast.
I made sure to brushing my teeth doesn't mean anything to you.
Not so much.
But I have my hair clean, everything.
But I can tell you brush your teeth because the screen isn't doing that wavy thing that it usually does when you breathe twice.
Yeah, great. Great, Josh. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, Josh. Hey, you know what would be great? If the screen had a thumb on it right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Google.
But you can't. FaceTime. You can't do it. You can't trigger it. It only triggers without warning.
That's what's so great about it.
Isn't it? It feels the vibe, even if it's not there.
Now, here's what I wanted to tell you before we go further into your little sketches and skeets. I don't check any of the news. So if there was something like close to evacuation, you would tell me that before the show. Like Trump bombed somebody. You would tell me that before the show, right?
I guess so.
It
would at least be first act information.
First, they came for Venezuelans, and I said I wasn't Venezuelan. Do you know that they can say, I went crazy last night because they said, you could be, they sent these people to El Salvador. We don't know what they had names that sounded like they were from El Salvador. We have no idea who they sent, but they can send someone to an El Salvador prison camp.
Yeah.
And I said nothing, and now they're coming for me. Why couldn't they send me to El Salvador or send me back to Israel, which I've never been to?
Right.
I'm telling you, it's gone from me bravely facing this threat that may harm our land, Josh. The threat of, and also, autocracy now seems to be the new word people use, and so I think they feel better about it. Oh, we're full autocracy now. Oh, but don't get concerned about it. Am I right? Am I getting it through?
I don't think anyone's saying it without concern. No one's saying autocracy without concern at this point.
You have to say fucking fascism, man. You got to call the man what he is.
I think dictator is more accurate than fascism.
He is a dictator. And he probably has a small penis, too. I'm going to get him.
But he is a fascistic dictator.
Fascistic. Also, so quickly these Republicans go, let's impeach the judges. Impeach the judges. They picked on a guy who, first of all, they're not going to impeach the judges because they have to have 2/3 of the Senate. Uh-huh. Even Schumer would. Why did you vote to impeach? Everybody said it would be good. I was very tired.
This is very typically American. I don't watch the news, but here's 5 opinions.
Well, no, I don't watch the news. No, you don't get what I'm saying. Something could have happened between last night when I checked on the most depressing thing I think I've heard in a long time, a law firm agreeing to be good now, not to go after Trump.
Yeah, all of the biggest law firms in America have shown themselves to be cowardly thus far.
Oh my God. And that's where I thought the stand would be with the lawyers. Once they came for the lawyers, I said, have you seen my accountant?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's his name still? Well, it would be funny, just be slightly funny if what's his name was still in prison, the guy who was the 89-year-old boss of Trump. You know, he wouldn't say anything about Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Alan Weitzelberg.
Yeah, Iceberg. It says, he's still on Rikers Island. He refuses to. So, no, when they said that last night that one of these law firms agreed to contribute money to the Trump campaign, this isn't your father's Citizens United. You know what I mean?
All right. And what Trump campaign, by the way?
Said Trump. Yeah, where would they give it to?
I don't know.
At that point.
Don't know.
He's not running.
Isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Here's me. It's 2015. Nobody will ever elect that stupid asshole. Are you kidding me? America's not that stupid. Oh, we're stupid. Oh, we're never stupid. Okay, cut to 2028. They'll never vote for Don Jr. The guy's a moron. Are you kidding me? He won't get one vote. Bum, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum, 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 bum. And now, DJ Don Jr. And he has he has a deep voice that he's trying to sound like his daddy when he that's the other. I sound like my daddy now. He has that kind of a sound to him. You know what? As long as it's not the other kid who I can't remember, Eric,
yeah.
I'm fine with Barron, and I'm fine with Don Jr.
Yeah.
But I don't want Eric anywhere near the levels.
What about poor Tiffany? Huh?
Tiffany has done very well on her own.
Yes, she has. And
many of these Trump people
wended her way back into Donald's heart, apparently.
The only one who has not been able to capitalize is Mary Trump. Mary Trump does not seem to have a good relationship with her horrible family that she's pointed. And what was the other guy's book that said, well, you should let the kid die? You know, that book came out. Let the kid die already. Face it, Schmendry, he's going to be dead. So long ago. Do you remember back in 2016 when we had the guy who had helped ghostwrite the book? I can't remember his name. That's how long. It's 2 Michael Avenatti lifetimes away. That's how long ago it was. All these things that happened. But you know what? Every night I still say this, Josh.
What's that?
I think something can happen that will. I bet something will happen now that he will resign. Well, then J.D. Vance will get in there. I bet something will happen now where he will resign and J.D. Vance will resign and the rest of the Republican Party will apologize and agree to have not rule because they're such bad people.
Doesn't seem like there's part of you doing that every night. Doesn't seem.
I've
like
given
that.
money to Wisconsin. Who's Crawford? Who's the famous Crawford? Crawford?
Joan?
Yes. Her grandniece is running for judgeship in Wisconsin.
I didn't know that.
That part I made up. That part I made up. And you know I made it up because it wasn't funny. It's something that could be true, but it's not true. But so it doesn't make it any more funny.
No, or makes it fun to talk to you even, really. Come on. Snap it together here.
Oh, okay. Can I ask you a question? Are you naked? I could never wear a sweatshirt without a shirt underneath. Oh.
There you go.
This is the worst.
I wish I had a medallion I could add to this.
This is the worst moment of my life. I was sure that Josh would have a shirt underneath his sweatshirt, but no. And don't think I didn't get a little turned on, which Freud said. He said that's fine, right, Freud? That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh, how soft is that? Would you zip it up, please?
Sure.
Jesus Christ. Stick it in your pocket already. That was great. That was really, really great. I'm surprised that didn't bring out Droopy. What's going on? I can't even do my own penis.
I see Jew meat.
You say Jew meat?
Yes.
That's not a nice lady to say that type of thing. Okay. Look, you've had your fun.
Have I?
No. When are the Mets going to start? I love Stephen A. Smith.
Do you? I don't think you do.
No, but here's Stephen A. Smith. I am fine not to talk to that man again for the rest of my life. I have said I would never do this. I apologize, Bronny, to you and to yours if you felt like I was trying to insult you, but I wasn't. I'll always be there to call the balls and strikes in the Bronny. This guy is unbelievable. This guy has a bigger ego than someone who's accomplished something.
It's true.
I mean, I'm starting to prefer Skip Bayless. But the other question is, who watches these shows?
I don't know. I don't.
Who watches these shows?
And I actually like sports.
I liked Mike and the Mad Dog back in the day.
Ouch.
You know? And look, I used to go to New York.
Doesn't speak well of you.
Well, I used to go to New York to do gigs.
Uh-huh.
And so I lived to Christopher Russo, Mike and the Mad Dog. I'd be driving to, people say, was it a glamorous early years? Yes, I'll see you later, Mom and Dad. I'm taking your car to Rascals in West Orange, New Jersey. Oh, I didn't leave in time. I wonder if that boss there who kind of don't get on his bad side will be angry. How the fuck did you get here late, Kindler? Other than that, he was very nice to me because he knew I never got a laugh. He was one of those people who said, I like what you're doing, but can you get a laugh?
Yeah.
That type of thing.
He had a point.
He did have a point. Actually, that's exactly what Steve Sharippa said to me when I first went to Las Vegas. He goes, look, Kindler, I like what you do, but you're going to have to try and get a couple of laughs. You have to try and get a couple of laughs. And I actually, you want to hear
You took that to heart.
He said, you want me to hear some of my Vegas material? Or my only Vegas?
Do I? No.
Yes. I just got back from the City Hall meeting, and they decided that they're going to switch from prime rib buffets in 2033 to I can't think of what the joke would be to Turkey. But right now they have an underground freezer where they have 7 billion pounds of prime rib.
Was you going wah part of the bit? Because
the crowd going wild. The crowd is going wild at the Riviera Hotel. I play one of the fanciest rooms in Vegas.
Yeah. Me, I did the comedy stop at the Trop.
Unbelievable. But I think everybody agrees if you do really believe in the stand-up as an art form, you can do no better than to move to Vegas.
Right.
Move to Vegas and just get a local thing going there.
Right.
What? You couldn't end that?
I did. You're right. I said.
Okay. I have my eye. I have my eye on you. Look how good I look now. It's pretty good, right?
Are you wearing something under that shirt?
No, I'm saying not that I'm defined. That's not what I'm talking about. Hey, look, you said I wasn't buffed and chiseled. What do you think? No, I'm saying all of my face is all healed.
Oh, that's right. That's
maybe
good.
it was healed on.
That's pretty good for a diabetic guy.
No. Are you mixing up blood thinning? What are you mixing up?
I wasn't. I don't know.
No. But I could lose my feet if I not careful. I thought turns out I just misplaced them. Folks, this is my diabetic material. This guy knows what I'm talking about.
I know you walk like you already did.
I don't get that joke at all.
Lose your feet?
Get it all.
Lose your feet because you fall on your fucking face a lot. It's as if you have no feet.
Susan took me aside yesterday, like when we were at the mall. I walked in the mall yesterday. It's fantastic.
Did you? Yeah.
Oh, so did she.
Were you able to not buy anything while doing that?
Yeah. Well, no, I was all about the Benjamins. I don't know what that means. Oh, Benjamin Franklin. That's who the Benjamins they talk about. Uh-huh. He's on the 20, or is he on the 100?
He's on the 100.
I don't have a lot of hundreds, so I'm like, the Jew.
It's not about the Benjamins to you.
No, it's not about Benjamins. It's about
all about the Hamiltons.
No, yes, exactly. It's about the Lincoln. Is Lincoln on the 5?
He's on the 5. Yeah.
Who's on the 1? Washington?
Yes.
Who's on the 10? Van Buren? Who's on the this? Jackson's on the 20s, maybe. Jesse Jackson. Stop it. What if we were one of these morning zoo type podcasts? There's a podcast I won't listen to it because they do stuff about murders and they said people say they're good, but it's 3 hours. I don't want to wait 3 hours of shtick to get to who killed the person.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Uh-huh. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. I think I'm done with that rant.
I went to a screening of our friend's movie the other night. Our friend
Jim Turner?
Yeah. Jim Turner. Gruber. Mark Fight. Also known as Clowntown City Limits was the show that this movie was based on.
Oh. How was it?
It was fun. It was great.
Yeah, I feel bad now because they asked me if I wanted to go there.
Oh, you really should have.
And I said, no, I don't want. I didn't say no. I just didn't reply like a fucking baby. How is Gruby? Is Gruby in town for a while?
I'm not sure how long he's in, but he's good.
Yeah.
I didn't get to talk to him a lot because he was in hosting a screening mode.
Yeah, when he's hosting, he's not nervous, but he's got a mind on the prize, eye on the prize.
Well, he has a high functioning people pleasing device within him.
Yeah, so he probably is very similar to me. He's anxious. So he's people pleasing. No,
he's not like you. No,
because he's positive. He's a positive force in the world.
Yeah.
I'm saying like me if I was a positive force in the world. I'm just saying, think about it.
But the difference is he's not thinking how are people thinking of me so much as
right.
How are people comfortable with one another?
That's right. That's why he's a low rate. He'd never make a narcissist. He told me he wanted to go to my master class.
He's kind of like the polar opposite of a narcissist. He is. He will deflect attention and praise like a ninja.
Yes, and he comes by honestly. He's not pouring. He's not
when
pissing on your.
when we traveled, it was always like people would come up to him because he's quite recognizable from Gilmore Girls and from Freaks and Geeks and stuff. And so if someone came up and would say Freaks and Geeks, he would immediately go, "Oh, and this is Josh. He wrote the thing and blah blah blah." He's
I know,
blah,
it's
blah, blah.
unbelievable.
Like, Gruber, do not do that. Do not do that. They are coming to see you.
So why do you get so mad at him? He's just trying to be a friend, and then you yell at him.
The same reason I get mad at you. I know.
But
It's so much love. There's so much love that it hurts when I see you being a jackass.
And when you punish me, you feel good about it?
Yes.
Well, because
yes.
I've been in the chat rooms. I've been on the board.
You can't have
week.
tough love without love.
You can't spell tough love without tough. Hey, you can't spell tough love without. How about this?
Thanks for fixing that.
You can't spell tough love without. I don't know what you can't do without punching you in the fucking face.
But
good. Why am I not on Saturday Night Live?
But the scene at this screening, I'm just barreling over you because you just aren't. You aren't in a conversational mode.
Well, I wanted to hear what you said, but you go, I went to a screening last night, and then you purposely look at me knowing I'm not going to ask a follow-up question. But why do you let it drop? You should say, and this happened, and that happened, and then you'll never forget. Take it away, baby.
Nah, you killed it. Anyway, it was good to see people. There was lots of people I saw there.
Ken Daly?
Ken Daly was there, yes.
Oh. It was good to see Jim Turner. I love Jim Turner.
I actually didn't see Jim. I mean, I saw him, but I didn't get to talk to him. I talked to Mark and Gruber.
Did you saw him or saw him? Okay, stop it. I'm tired of riffing like this.
Yeah, I'm tired of it
You've
too.
brought me to this. You've brought me to this.
I'm tired of it as well.
You're mad at me because I was 3 minutes late, and now you're taking it out on me.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Uncut Gems?
Yes.
And did I tell you I mixed it up with Righteous Gems? Or I didn't tell the story?
Righteous Gemstones?
Yeah, did I tell you or I didn't tell you?
No.
Probably did not tell you.
But it sounds like a great story.
Okay, here's the story. I thought Righteous Gems was with Adam Sandler, but it's not. And I can't watch Righteous Gems because it's got that guy in it who I know is objectively funny, but I can't watch him.
Yeah.
What is his name again?
Riley. John C. Riley?
No. The guy who's Black Hawk Down. No, Down.
Oh, no, that's
down.
right. Yeah, that guy. I can't think of his name either.
Yeah. So I thought that he was. What have I done now? I don't know what I've done.
You're confused talking about the story of how you were confused. It's really quite a little swirling whirlpool of fun.
What if something happened to me? I hope you could find another partner.
I didn't know what the show was, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't the Adam Sandler, so I said something mean about it, but it was about someone who I wanted to say something mean about anyway, but it was a different mean.
No, it was actually me fake giving it up. Because I did fake say, I think he's an excellent, he is an excellent actor, Adam Sandler. So someone was telling me, if you like his actor, I did. I liked him in Punch Drunk Love, Knocked Out Loaded, Punch Drunk Loaded. But, so will I enjoy him in the Uncut Gem? Is it a great movie?
It's not a great movie. It's a decent movie.
Okay.
But I would never, ever, ever tell you to watch an Adam Sandler movie in a million years.
No. But this isn't like there wasn't like I said. Whatever you do, can someone recommend me an Adam Sandler? It just is one that came up in conversation. Because along the having the grudge for all these years, when you hold a grudge, you have to have certain things that you give it up for. I'm not saying the man can't act. I'm just saying he deserves to burn in hell. You see what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you give a little. You give a little. What is it called? Fish or catch or stick? Give him a little stick.
Yeah.
What's the other one besides the stick?
Are you a guy who goes, Hitler had good ideas too? Yeah.
You know how many times people have fallen into that trap because they're probably Nazis or something? He goes, look, I don't want to, that's actually not true. He won by an actual fair election. What? In 1933, it was a fair. Oh, okay. I'm just saying, there's a lot of myths that you hear about Hitler. He came to power honestly. He replaced, I know this, Himmelfarb, Himmeltrop. Ribbentrop.
Hindenburg?
Yeah. Probably. And he was named after the balloon that fell?
Yes. It was really not very kind of his parents.
Wouldn't that be horrible if the only...
Hindenburg Schmidt, they called it. It was his name.
I'm getting upset with these Hindenburg people. What do you think? Why do you have to go in a big balloon? Does it look safe to you? It's 1903. Does that look safe to you, stupid? I'm the in your face comic from back then. Fuck you people, you Titanic people. In your face.
I'm Luddite Lou.
Why are you building I got a ship for you. Here's a paper plane. Boom, bang, bang. Andy Kindler's back or something. Will you shoot me out of my misery?
I would love to, but let's go to questions instead.
No, if I'm ever dead, you know how on Dateline, I don't know if you know this, they always say if someone kills me, if I'm dead, go after Josh. I'm saying that right now to all the listeners. If I'm killed...
That's what Mankiewicz told me. It's always the podcast partner.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
See, Christopher Hart says, gents, I need comments from both of you on Jay Leno driving a tank. And there is, in fact, a picture of Jay Leno driving a tank down the street.
When was this?
With his head sticking out of the little hole. I don't know.
Why is he doing this? This is safer, though, than when he falls off into things. This is maybe what you should do.
It's true.
You should do this all the time.
It might just be armor for him going to the store. I parked next to Jay, or not next to him, but within a few spots of Jay for 2 years, and, he'd drive a fucking Stanley steamer to work some days, so,
They like Jeff Dunham.
To some extent, if you have a giant, massive car collection, I guess I respect the fact that you're at least driving these cars, Mm-hmm. And I guess trying to share the pleasure of them with others,
I heard it was controversial when he went to some of these Africa famine reliefs, and he would drive up every day to the famine center in one of his new cars. Hey, you want to get I'm starving. Hey,
what's interesting is how sort of unromantic he is about the actual like, I interviewed him with Mark Thompson, and I was like, do you have any plans for the collection when you die? He's like, no, I don't care. Someone will get them.
He's not even collecting it his heart isn't even in collecting.
I think his heart is. I think his heart is.
He doesn't talk about
his heart isn't into legacy.
I think his heart is always into portraying himself as a workaday
Absolutely.
guy.
No, he has to be.
Yeah, blue-collar guy.
He has to be the blue-collar tycoon.
Yeah. So, Jay, how did you fall? What happened? Tell me about when you fell down a hill. Yeah, it was I could have gone on 4. It was 4 miles if I took the actual road.
If I took the road, it would have been 16 miles, and if I would have gone down the hill, it was 16 feet. And
they said, I didn't sue. I didn't have to use one penny of my Tonight Show money.
Stephen Elton Yates says, it's almost baseball season again. How many games do you think you'll watch this year? Do you plan on attending any games?
I'll answer first on that one. I would attend the game. Yes, I will attend the game, I think. And I plan to watch the whole entire Mets season. Not every game. I'm not boring.
I will probably watch 10 baseball games over the course of the baseball season.
Yeah.
I've been kind of itching to go to Dodger Stadium for a couple of years, so it could happen this year. But I don't have hard and fast baseball plans.
And what's happening with your teams? First of all, what's happening with my Nixies? Are the Nixies? I call them the Nixies. Hi, Nixies. Do I have a chance at anything?
I don't think you have a chance I think you have a chance of a couple of rounds of playoff wins, maybe.
Oh, we're going to get in the playoffs. We have a decent record, right?
Yeah.
Who's this team that's 50-13? I mean, what kind of a thing is this? 50-13.
Was it the Cavaliers or the?
Probably something like that. I'm the guy who doesn't know enough to ask a smart question. Why are they running around with their why do they have tank tops on?
I think you'll have the Celtics and the Cavs
I don't
fighting
like,
it
I don't
out
like
in the
it.
East. And
Will you be happy with that?
And I think you might have like the Lakers and Oklahoma City fighting it out in the West.
Well, that would be good. You know, I'm a big fan of Oklahoma City has Draymond Green.
No.
Oh, Oklahoma City
Has
Durant.
No, it doesn't.
It did. Did it have Durant at one time?
It did 10 years ago.
Well,
yeah.
that's okay then. I'm doing good. I would like to make this announcement as Stephen A. Smith. Why do you call yourself Stephen A. Smith? There's already a Stephen Smith in the asshole guild. Come on.
No,
All right.
Classic, but
It's classic, but
frothy,
not funny the fifth time.
BD West says, guys, my one takeaway from 13 years of religious education was that Jesus was Jewish. Not sure why the Hare Krishnas are incensed. I don't get this, really.
Well, this is are the Hare Krishnas incensed?
Exactly. Why I don't get it.
Yeah, neither do I. Although, let me tell you something. Every day that Netanyahu, I'm pleasantly surprised. All right, go ahead.
Josh says, hello. Josh, are there any impressions you wish you had in your proverbial quiver? The elusive Joseph Cotton, late in life Mae West? Andy, I was worried when I saw your injury photos. I'm glad it's not as bad as it looks. I wish I could see the other guy.
I wish that was true once. But I accidentally punched someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I fell into someone's face with my fist.
Yeah.
And I injured myself. And they go, I said, you see the other guy, he's hurt worse than me.
Yeah, he tried to save me, and I inadvertently injured him as well.
Yeah. I am so sick and tired of you thinking of me as less of a man because you're a big old bully and you wear a sweatshirt with to the waist with a Coke spoon around your neck.
Uh-huh.
And another reference from the 60s.
How in the world could you be as much of a man as me then? That's really what I'm saying.
You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize. Well, you are more of a man. Has it ever come up as a topic that you have a micro penis with your... One time I was making fun of someone's penis. Oh, I don't know what the joke was. And then someone wrote to me very upset that they said they have small... I'm not joking about this, except it was a little funny, but it made me think. I have a micro penis, and it's not fun to make... It's not nice to make fun of them.
Yeah.
And I actually did, I took a week off, and I dropped some of my micro penis material.
Do you feel like it was a sincere...
I think it was. I think he was very sincere. But, he was very upset. Yeah, I do think it was. It was.
Huh.
I try to look at. You wouldn't think I try and look at both sides, but I try to look at both sides. So I think the person just saying
of a micropenis.
Well, no, if you're making gratuitous jokes about something that's an actual condition, but then, come on. People like
is micropenis an actual condition? I don't think it is.
That's what this guy was saying.
I think it's actually just an insult.
He was what?
I think it's actually just an insult. Micropenis. I don't think it's an actual condition.
He was trying to. Well, I think you're right. He may have had a small penis. It may have not looked too big, but it was not technically micro. So he's taking offense. This guy I saw in the gym, his penis was like the size of a grain of rice. Oh, I forgot where I was going to go with it after that. Sorry. Hold on.
Maybe you should be a shower, not a grower. John Dunbar says, is that Josh? Oh, and by the way, Josh, who asked the last question, I don't have any impression, because I'm not an impressionist, I don't have any have to have them impressions, but I'm disappointed with myself that in 10 years I can't do a Trump impression worth of shit. Like I've never been able to get even a halfway acceptable Trump.
I think it's how much you dislike him. You don't even want to concentrate on it enough.
It probably is that, but you'd think I'd at least have my own characterization of it by now. And I just have too much contempt, I guess.
I saw this guy, he was posting, and no offense to him, but he was posting all of his imitations, right? And his one was this, talking to me, talking to me. And then the other one was, okay, Bush. It was Jim from Taxi. Those were the two. After all these years, really? We can't update it to Dabney Coleman or somebody.
That's like Maurice LaMarche's Young Comedian spot.
I don't know what that means. Maurice LaMarche, I'm guessing, was an old comedian.
Maurice LaMarche is, probably your age comedian, but a big impressionist.
Oh, I never heard that. Are you sure about Marcel Marceau?
He was on the same Young Comedian special as Kinnison and Louis and Bob Nelson.
Oh, my God. I missed this time period. I got to see that special again because I have to see Louis before he's destroyed career-wise.
Was he ever destroyed career-wise? I don't think he
That's
was.
the sad part. He makes so much money now.
He's dead.
Being an asshole.
He's dead.
He is?
Louis Anderson, I'm talking about.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Louis C.K.
Yeah, well, I wasn't.
Oh. That was that was really fantastic. Huh?
John Dunbar asks, is that Josh doing the voiceover for the Bouvine France intro in Who Do You Want Me to Be? My documentary. It sounds like him with a historical blowhardy affectation. Also, did he do the Stinkburger Inc. theme /sting? Why, yes. Both are me.
Wow.
Because I'm a DIY guy. But yes, I did the voiceover, and I did make it try to sound like a historical blowhardy voice.
Yes, and that worked.
And I did do the Stinkburger sting.
What's the Stinkburger sting?
Welcome to Stinkburger Inc.
I just inserted it there.
What do you mean? You did it right now?
Yeah.
Or are you saying in the recording it will come up?
Welcome to Stinkburger Inc.
You did it again? God, this is great. I love, like, these tricks. These tricks. This is why people come back week after week.
Do they?
No. But if they did, that might be one reason.
I just read that we're the number one and out podcast.
Oh, God damn it. I'm going to write on this thing right now. Todd Glass. I want him on the show. And it's all my fault. Todd Glass. Okay.
Yeah, that's a magic pad. Everything you write on there happens.
You know what? My mother gave me this pad before she died.
Really?
This was the last pad.
And you haven't gone through it in 5 years.
Well, no, it's actually it's an eraser board.
Oh, okay.
Whiteboard. It's the first whiteboard I've ever had.
Yeah.
I had an Asian board once. What did that do? It didn't dry very well. I'm sorry, folks. I don't get what the stereotypes mean.
Anthony Morgan says, Andy, I did a gag. And it's him retweeting his gag, which was, the main difference between Musk and Hitler is that the Volkswagen was a reliable, reasonably priced vehicle.
I love that joke. And I think I retweeted it. Or reposted it. I love any of those jokes that make Musk look worse than Hitler or Trump look worse than Hitler. I'm on board for them.
Seth Dick III says, as insiders in the business, and by business I mean the industry, do you think the State Farm guy has made what we like to call generational wealth as a result of his commercial? The guy is ubiquitous and not in a cool way Dear Leader is.
I don't have any negative reaction to that guy. What was she saying? Not in a cool way?
Yes.
Oh no, I think that guy. I actually think that wait, are we talking about the progressive?
Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, I like Jake.
Okay.
I have no problem with Jake, and I also like the progressive commercials.
That's really fucking weird. That suddenly you're defending some ubiquitous character, ad character.
I just find it odd. I just find it odd.
It's probably I would say I actually did some research on the whole brand character thing at one point, and not because I was looking to be one, but I was looking to tell a story involving one. And if you're there for years, it can be like a $10 million a year kind of a contract.
I think it is. Him and Stephanie make very, very good. Made a lovely living. Well, Stephanie has made it more lovely.
Stephanie Flo from Progressive?
Stephanie Courtney, yes. Yes.
Yeah, so she's probably making $10 million a year. I would guess that there's probably a contract that gets you cheaper for the first 5 years or so that
Right.
locks you in for some sort of services contract. But,
Yes.
but, it probably gets to, low millions fairly early if you're doing full campaigns like that and you become the face of a brand.
Remember
but then
Scott?
but then when you renegotiate, you have power and it can be like a $10 million thing.
What was that guy who did all of them? Scott. You know what I'm talking about? He's
No.
Fuck you. Jesus Christ. Scott, he used to go to the speeches and he used to get commercial. There's some people got all the commercials.
Scott
Chip Chinnery.
Scott LaRose.
LaRose, yes, that's what I'm talking about. He made big money at one point.
He did. And
Chip Chinnery did a lot of commercials.
Chip Chinnery.
Chip Chinnery.
I was at Musso and Frank's a couple of years ago.
Oh, we want to go back there. Was it great?
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
I was at Musso and Frank's a couple of years ago, and with some friends, and was like, for some reason, Scott LaRose came up, and I was like, "What the fuck happened to him? He was fucking everywhere, and I haven't seen him in years." And like 10 minutes later, he walks in. Someone goes, "Is that Scott LaRose?"
Fetterman used to do a lot of commercials too.
Yes.
Fetterman, yeah.
Yes.
I did not have that. We got to have him back.
Yeah.
Or I hope there's no conflict. I hope he doesn't have a soft drink deal.
You could be the spokesman for Friend Away.
What is that? Is that a real thing?
It's friend repellent.
Did you just come up with that?
I did, yeah.
That's very funny.
Thanks so much.
Mr. Haney. Hi, Mr. Haney. Well, he is Mr. Haney, so he wouldn't say Mr. Haney.
Tom K says, how much worse does the world have to get before we eat the rich?
I would do it. No, look, I don't believe in violence. What I believe in is an underground railroad that sends me to Canada, and then I don't give a fuck what happens to the rest of you people. I'm just going to be up in Toronto, kicking ass on the Toronto scene.
As Groucho Marx would say, it's better to run to Toronto than to live in a place you don't want to.
Is that from a Groucho movie? Why you all of a sudden you turn away as if you're in shame? Was that from a Marx Brothers? Marx Brothers?
It's from An Evening with Groucho.
Oh, that's right.
Dan Marsh says, hey guys, what's your favorite color? And what color do you think looks best on you?
My favorite color is
color me unimpressed with this question, Dan.
Permanent magenta is my favorite color to use as an artist when I'm watercoloring. Otherwise,
what does that mean? Why permanent magenta?
It's got like a purple shine, and it's great as a watercolor because it mixes in with water and it makes a lovely, lovely thing. And I love the shade of it. Other than that, I've never had it. Oh, what's your favorite color? Jew.
Yes, Jew.
You do a good look of like, what is he doing now face? What could he possibly be doing now?
I've earned it. I've earned that face.
I agree with you.
Rob Pointer says, Pleathermask asks, hi guys, either of you a house whistler? Have to have a go-to melody? Does it irk your partner? My old man could whistle like a Spanish assassin. Me, not so much. I can tolerate even a decent whistler, but my brother-in-law has a tragic habit of vocal styling guitar solos. Shudder.
That's the worst. That is the worst. I feel your pain. I'm terrible at whistling.
We have I can whistle, but it's not it's more of a singer than a whistler. But
yeah.
we have a freedom of noise house.
You don't do whatever you want?
We both sing plenty.
You both say like
we both sing plenty.
Oh, well, you're both singers.
Yes. Sing to dogs, sing to each other.
It would be delightful to spend a day just seeing both of you serenade each other.
It's the best.
Let's do that. And I'll operate the water pistol. You use it on Allison or you use it on Cody? I forget.
I use it on Allison to get her to tell Cody to stop.
And we'll be back with the misogynist show.
I think we're moving to the gram.
Stephen Elton Yates.
Apologies to anyone I left behind on Blue Sky.
Yes, if someone left you behind, please send a. If you have any complaints about the show, send it to 555-COMPLAINT 555 at 555.com.
Daisy Petunia says, if they polled NBA players, who do you think their favorite Elton John album was? Or what do you think their favorite Elton John album was? I've given it a bit of thought, and while I won't bore you with my research and analysis, though I could spin a bit of a theory about Island Girl, let's just say my guess is, take a breath, Caribou. I just know that people who insist it's Captain Fantastic and the Brown Deer Cowboy are, to use the phrase, fucked in the head.
Man, there's a lot of emotion there, but what is the question? What's my favorite Elton John?
What NBA players' favorite?
They would definitely be Honky Tonk.
Honky Chateau, probably, yeah.
What's Honky Cat? Honk Cat. Woo! He said, whoa, 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 woo! You know that song, right?
I do, yeah.
He said, yes, 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 whoa, like a poor man should.
Delicious Mix says, what do you guys think of Windy City Heat? It hurts me to see someone get fucking gaslit and humiliated, really. It's like...
Yeah, that was a hard one to watch.
Right? I sort of laughed that it happened.
Right,
but didn't really want to watch it.
Yeah, it's hard when someone feels so poorly about themselves from whatever the prank is.
It's just not that hard to find stupid, gullible people in the world, as we've learned very starkly in the last few years.
From what? What are you talking about?
From our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy Barcanero says, I nodded in agreement when Josh said that 6 out of every 10 bananas purchased get thrown in the trash. I also have a banana hot take, which is that bananas are only good when they are on the greener, unripe side. Much better and much different flavor than the ripe yellow bananas. What level of ripeness do you prefer?
I think what this gentleman, is it a gentleman?
It's Tommy Barcanero. I can't determine whether he's a gentleman or not.
I think what Tommy is saying can be true, and I would say might be true, but if there's some green, you could still... I think what he's saying, fact search, true.
I don't mind a tinge of green.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer a tinge of green to a brown spot.
It's not easy being green.
It's true.
It's just not a great fruit, no matter how you look at it.
It's a good fruit. It's okay. But for me, the window is very, very short.
It's very short, and I couldn't imagine a life without bananas. But yet, I don't go, we're going to the supermarket, honey, don't forget they have bananas. That's what I'll have all the bananas.
My grandmother believed that a banana a day was somehow this panacea of perfect health. She really believed that she needed it. She harangued my mother about it in her old age.
That's not good.
My mother snapped, a legendary story of my mother among her coworkers was when my grandmother called her 3 or 4 times during the day to remind her that she needed bananas. And my mother was like, "What are you, a fucking monkey?"
I didn't see that coming. I don't like a fun work environment.
It was a fun work environment. And finally,
here's something.
Flores 77 commented, since you are culinarily inclined, but I don't think you're into baking, but the obvious question is, aren't overripe bananas and brown bananas okay and desired in the art of banana bread making? I assume you've considered it, but are just not interested. I have made banana bread, just to say that I've made banana bread, but I don't really like it that much. And as I learned during the pandemic that I can bake, but there's no reason to. It's right. There are people who do it better than me.
Right.
And their products are readily available. But but more to the point is it's just like there's no way it doesn't just add 1,000 calories to my day.
Yes,
while
that's
it's there,
the part that
you know?
yeah.
Why do that to myself?
I would rub them right on my thighs because that's where they're going, is what I always say.
My thing with snacking is just, don't just remove the opportunity more than it is like,
True.
resist and moderation kind of.
You know what I've switched? I don't know what you think about this. Instead of searching for the best stevia ice cream, which doesn't exist, I went to a restaurant, and I had a nice apple tart dessert with caramel. I'm not going to worry about that. I think that's better every once in a while than to be using bogus ice cream.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. But if I drop dead, it's your fault.
Well, the problem with bogus ice cream is even though you're avoiding sugar, you're still dumping a bunch of cream into yourself.
That's true.
So it's like that. Luckily, I had stopped making ice cream for a long spell, but I've made a couple of batches over the last month. But I'm much more able to just sort of, for some reason, ice cream as opposed to like a cake on the counter, I'm able to have no trouble. I haven't had it in 3 nights or whatever. So.
Right, but you're saying you have no trouble leaving it. You mean?
I have no trouble being.
Yeah, ice cream is fantastic. I think if I wasn't such a sick man.
Yeah, but I agree with what you were saying about you're better off having an occasional treat and dealing with the fallout of that than constantly being slightly disappointed.
That's exactly right. Bob Odenkirk wrote this one letter, and the thing was about his whole life he had a great life, except he wished he had not chosen the low-fat ice cream. Why didn't I have real ice cream every time I wanted to have ice cream?
Yeah.
So I'm not recalling stories anymore because I don't get enough. You should be like, what? What? You have another story? And I don't get that at all.
All right, we'll try one more, and I'll try to give you the right.
Okay, all right. So, I never told you that when I first started out, there was a time once when I bombed. I don't have anything. I can never good when you put me in a spot.
Right.
How do people help the show, though?
How do they help the show?
Yeah, if they want to help them. Can they give money to the show?
They replace one of the hosts.
Come on, a cup of coffee.
Go to buymeacoffee.com/ThoughtSpiral and become part of the Thought Spiral family.
I can just go like that, and it goes off.
Are you just remoting me? All right. I won't make you push a button.
Get me out of this bit. Oh, get me out of this bit. If you have a chance, if you have some time, get me out of this bit.